out and improve our products at the same time. This is the hard thing to do, but it's the necessary thing to do to continue to move forward. And if you look at a version of a Model 3 that we built today, and you compare it back to a Model 3 that we built in 2018, there's a long list of improvements that we put into the car while also taking cost out of the product. Cost reduction doesn't just come from one place. There's no silver bullet here. And we pushed the boundaries on volume with the Model 3 program, increasing volume 3x over this period of time. We've improved productivity. So in our Fremont factory, we are twice as productive now as we were in mid-2018. We've made a lot of progress on overhead efficiencies and product improvements, as we've discussed, and a long list of other things, including localization, our factory in Shanghai. And as we ramp up volume and as we find efficiencies, we work with our suppliers to do the same. And that leads to material cost reductions that improve the affordability of our products. And as we look forward to our next-gen vehicle, our target is to reduce 50% of cost, and we've talked about that a bit earlier today. Going from the Model S and X platform to the 3 and Y platform, we took out 50% of cost, so the task here is to do it again. And this is very important because as we improve affordability, the number of customers who have access to our products dramatically increases. And as we link this back to our master plan, it enables an exponential growth in our volume with linear reductions in the cost of our products. The second point I'll make here is that, and again, cost reductions don't come from any single one place. And so you can see the buckets here on the vehicle side, battery and powertrain, manufacturing cost reductions, and others. These buckets are relatively equal in size. And so in order to take 50% of the cost out of the product, we have to go through everything. But more importantly than just the cost of the car up front, when we're transitioning to a sustainable economy, particularly with vehicle ownership, it's really important to think about the lifetime cost of the products. And this chart here is showing what the total cost of ownership per mile is over the course of 5 years. And we have to think about financing costs, insurance costs, the cost of power. Drew talked a little bit about that with the plants that we're doing in Texas, wear and tear and maintenance on the cars, et cetera. And we're already at a place today in the US where a base Model 3 on a cost per mile basis is less than a Toyota Corolla, which is the highest selling car in the world. And as we move towards our next-gen platform, we will continue to reduce this. And as we work on robotaxi variants of this platform, this cost will come down even further. And so this is a product that we expect to have substantially lower cost per mile than the highest volume products in the world. The next thing on cost reduction I want to talk about is operating expenses. We spend a lot of time on our earnings calls talking about gross margins and product cost. We don't spend a lot of time talking about OpEx, but I think this is one of the really important parts of our story. So since 2018, we've reduced our non-GAAP OpEx 60% as a percent of revenue and 75% on a per delivered car basis. This is quite staggering, and I want to go into the details about how we've done this. The first component of OpEx, which is R&D, the single most important thing here is that we constrain the number of programs that we work on, so minimizing the number of programs that we're running in parallel, and the key here is to maximize the revenue and cash generated from every program that we work on, and also maximize the technology sharing between the programs. So we talked a little bit about how power electronics in our energy business is shared with power electronics in our vehicle business. If we look at the SG&A side of this, I think the story here is pretty dramatic. So we're showing here a comparison of SG&A per car delivered compared to the traditional auto industry, which is both an OEM and the dealership network. And our estimates are that we're 60 to 70% lower on a per car basis. And if you turn this into dollars, this is many thousands of dollars per car. This is part of the reason why on the last earnings call, I made the comment that we think about operating margin more so than gross margin as a company, because the integration that we have here on the SG&A side, particularly with vertical integration into our dealership network, this provides efficiencies that give us a competitive advantage from a cost structure standpoint relative to other companies. The other thing that I'll note here is that this wasn't always the case.